Well, guys, how the heck you doing today? You got BP here. What the heck are we looking at? Well, she's a 60-foot Brandt Sprayer. It's old. Not gonna say it's new by any means, but I don't need fancy. I just need something that'll work for us. So, she's an oldie. We got ourselves a sprayer. How it's gonna work, I have no idea. Sorry about the wind. It's definitely not a spraying day today. It's friggin' windy as all hell. But anyway, we got ourselves a sprayer. This is a PTO drive, well, pulley drive, belt drive pump. The pump, he had put it on just before he quit farming. So it's only got like one season on it, but it's been a few years that this thing's been sitting. So he says it'll work no problem. This was his go-to machine when nothing else would work. But that's about 5 years now that it's sat. So am I gonna have to replace these guys? The nozzles and stuff in it? I don't know. There's supposed to be 10-gallon tips in it. I did check a couple of them, and according to him, those are the 10-gallon. It's a manual fold out. So when we go to put it in transport, I actually have to grab the end of the wing and pull it out. There's supposed to be a pipe or a bar that goes from here across to that side to hold your wings so they don't open up as you're going down the road. Well, I just put that strap on. Got it home. Hour and a half to get it home from where we got it from. But this is her. I guess I'm gonna have to learn how to do some spraying, because I've never sprayed before. So the first time for everything, right? Anyways, there it is. So in the future videos, we'll be looking at this thing. So this is a Brandt. I think it's considered a 620. That's what's stamped on the side down there. If you guys can make out that 620, mind you, up here it's got 620-830, whatever the hell that means. I have no idea. But the controller for it is inside the cab of the truck. And then he also had a bunch of extra nozzles, screens. They'll have to be cleaned. Some new housings. So yeah, we're gonna take this stuff to the house, get it all cleaned up. We just pulled into the yard with this thing. Got it by fluke, because actually what I was talking to the guy about is that thing right there. That's a 3-horse aeration fan for our one bin. He had one for sale. So these tires he gave us also, right there, they're the spares for the back end of the booms on the sprayer. So we got the aeration fan, the sprayer, and then a hopper, all from one guy. So yeah, not big dollars by any means that we're spending on this grain farming equipment. So none of our grain farming equipment, we've never spent anything of any huge dollars for any of it. I think the most I spent for anything was on the combine, on the old Sassy Massey 750. That was the big ticket item, that the most we spent. So why change now, right? Why buy a sprayer for over $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 when one like this, if it's gonna work, will do the job for us? So anywho, I'm gonna get this stuff up to the house, and we'll bring you all back a little bit later. If not today, it'll be tomorrow, because it's really windy today. So later, guys. Alrighty, guys, how the hell's it going? we're just having a lovely friggin' day. I'm being sarcastic. Anywho, my electronic solenoids right there to turn the one is for the center boom. Center and right side works together, and then the other one is for the left boom. And the left boom, well, we were having issues. I've got them so they're shutting on and off now, but the wiring is very decayed, and I need to redo the ends. So I'm going to redo the wiring going to these solenoids, but I don't got the right fittings. Wouldn't you guess? Of course, story of my life, right? Anywho, so I got to run to the city and get the right fittings. They're just spade bits that go on the friggin' female spades that go on the end of the wiring, like right here, and go on the end of all these wires, and then they go on, then you just spade them on to the male spades on those solenoids. Anyways, that's gonna have to sit and wait until tomorrow. Also, in here, I guess I better turn this down or else I'll get demonetized. Bear with me. There we go. Shut that off. Okay, so in here, so on the main boom, I don't know if I said this before, probably not. I was having issues getting water to come through the main lines. So this valve body here is brand new because the guy that we got spare from, he had 4 or 5 new ones and he gave them to us. Anywho, the one that was on here was broke, so I replaced it with this one. It's working fine. But I couldn't get water into the main lines, so I took this off, the rubber hose off of the end of that line, off of the end of that line, and off the end of that line, and we stuck a garden hose in there and flushed the friggin' line out. Well, on this side, there's a dead mouse stuck in that friggin' line, so we flushed his ass the hell out of there. On the other line, it was just a whole bunch of crud, mouse turds. I don't know how the hell mice get inside there, but somehow a mouse got inside. Anyways, this hose was leaking. Lobbed him off, got it fixed, so it's not leaking now. There's a couple little tiny leaks here and there, drip this, drip that, whatever, but you know what, I ain't gonna worry too much about that, as long as the son of a bitch is gonna turn on and off, and the nozzles work, right? So that's where we're at. Now, because there was so much crud in the main lines, what am I doing here? Cleaning all the nozzle bodies out. How are we doing that? Well, I don't know. To me, what seemed to be the best way to do it, take them all off, and then, just give me a sec here, guys. Take them all off, and then this part right here, you unscrew that, and you look inside. This one was cleaned out already, and he looks pretty good. So there's not really any crud inside there, but I had him off and I blew it out. The biggest problem we're having, so got our cap, got this little sucker. He's spring loaded. It's like a relief valve of some sort, pressure relief. He goes inside there, like so. And then you needs one of these little pieces of rubber, just a little tiny sumbitch that fits over top of that, like so, to seal it, right? Well, I don't got none of them. I'm missing a bunch of those rubbers. It was leaking out through a bunch of them rubber spots. Of course. So we got to run to the city and get a bunch of those little tiny fucking rubbers. We got to get rubbers that fit these ones, this style, so like that. You can see that one is like a so, right? And then we got to get rubbers that fit that style. And they're just slightly different in size. Look at that. That sumbitch is going to have to be replaced because he's broken. I just noticed it just now. See that? See, he's broke right there. Might be able to make him work, might not. We'll hang on to it, but just the same. That's what we're doing. So, how dirty is this guy inside there? Oh, there's some crud in there. I'll crack it open. I'll show it to you. Oh, there you now I drop you on the floor. See? There, and now you're back. So I got the top off. And that rubber, you see, he doesn't look too friggin' shit hot, does he? So, toss that in there, put that over there. There, you see all that crud inside there? We got to get all that shit out of there. It's no point in having it in there, like, it's just plugging the friggin' system up, right? So, all I'm doing is hitting it with the air compressor. Seems like the best way to do it. Anyway, gonna let you guys go. We got lots to do here. So, we'll talk to y'all later. Alrighty guys, how's she going today? I see I got a hose fitting over there that's got a little tiny drip. Not the end of the world though. Probably just gotta tighten up the goddamn clamps on it a little bit. Anyways, what's going on here? Well, over here, these are little electric on-off solenoids. And the wires are not in the best of condition. See this one here? See that? That's not good. You don't want this shit. So I got lots of cable. So I cut that back. We're gonna put new ends on. I had to run to the city and pick up ends. I had to pick up stuff for the nozzles. I picked up a bunch of this hose so I could replace some of it. Yeah, just a whole bunch of miscellaneous toots, right? Anyways, so now we got to go to work at installing ends on all these wires and getting them put on. So that's what's going on. When I get this done, then we'll go to work working on the nozzles. So I'll bring you back for that later. Alrighty guys, so yesterday you saw me screwing with this stuff, right? Anyway, got the wiring all done on that thing. Yeah, I'll show you something. There's one spot on the wiring that runs from the sprayer up to the cab that was exposed right here. And this little hose there, it broke. It's that fucking brittle. Like son of a bitch, right? That hose is the pressure line hose, goes to here where it would normally disconnect, and then from there runs all the way up into the cab of the tractor for your pressure gauge. And you can't set your pressure up or down without this friggin' hose. Cocksucker. So now I got to figure out where I'm going to go to get some of that little tiny hose with the furled fittings for a joiner kit and put a splice patch in. Basically is what we're looking at doing. Something like this right here. You need to do this. If it ain't one thing, it's another. That could be the downfall of this machine right there. Anyway, until then, and that piece is right there. These are the brand new T-Jet single nozzle nozzle bodies. So I bought 10 of those. They're cheap. They're like $4.60 a piece. I already put 5 of them on. I will be putting those ones on eventually. But I also bought a bunch of these guys right here. So in all of these nozzle bodies, when I go to put them together, now that I blew them all out and cleaned them up, that goes on there like that, and then my other stuff goes on top, and then it should work theoretically. We'll find out. Let's get to work at reassembling everything later. Alrighty guys, so we got all our nozzles on both sides all the way up. I got 5 across the back here that are brand new. This one is I left it on. I think it'll be just fine. But what I don't like about this machine, they got a splice job there, splice job here, splice job here. I don't like that. I think that T could have been put in at a slightly different location. So, or given this hose a little bit more, because it's kind of drops here, so it pinches off a little bit right at this point. This elbow should have maybe been turned just a little bit more. Something should be done differently at this point. And you sure as fuck don't need a splice there and one down there. Not in my estimation. That's just Mickey Mouse. So I bought a bunch of brand new hose, and my plan is to run a new line right from the front all the way down this side, straight through with 1 T only. That's the plan. Let's get at her. Alrighty guys, so having all kinds of fucking fun. Got the new line run through here, got this line on here, got this turned a little bit, went and fucked with my pressure line right there, busted the fucking fitting. Well, wouldn't you guess? And then the hose, I had the hose that was broken, I showed you before right here. Well, that's basically like little tiny airline hose for a semi truck, like for switching gears and shit. So anyways, I was gonna run to town and buy new airline, but I figured the hose that was there was like 1/4 inch friggin', it's right here, black line, and all it did was went from the back to right here. Well, why can't it go all the way? So CP and I went hunting around. CP found that yellow airline that we don't use no more, and I found a fitting that fit in there. It's actual airline fitting, it's not water piping, but what the hell, why not? Give it a try, right? So it's in there, and it works. As far as we know at this point, it's gonna work. Start her up, baby. Let's see what happens. PTO, pump is on. Rev it up a little bit, at least to 4.5. Turn your master switch on. We got water coming. No leakage there. What's the pressure gauge say? 100. I don't know what the hell she's talking. 15? Well, that's the most pressure it's said all day. Well, ever since we got it thing working. And I got water drippaging through everything. And this one is still giving me grief. I think there's something wrong with this nozzle body. We're gonna have to swap him out because it should not be coming out there. And that one I don't got no water coming out of. Well, the odd little tiny drip. The end one's got a little tiny drip. I'm wondering if that, I don't know much about these machines, but I'm wondering if that solenoid for that side is not opening up properly. Just now, shut the master off. The one electronic solenoid is not working properly with the rest of the machine. Turn the master on. Shut it off. The master off. You shut the master off. I think this solenoid for the left side is not working proper. Anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go. We'll talk to you all later.